And at Moonee Valley when the champion Might and Power races Australia's best thoroughbreds for turf history in the Weight for Age Championship of Australia. The Cox Plate, live on the one and only Wide World of Sports.
Yeah, if you think racing's big today on the Wide World of Sports, next Saturday it'll be just as big with the Cox Plate. Jack Denham, he's run second in the plate the last 2 years, 96 and 97 with Falonde, and this year he's hoping to do the trick with Might and Power. Right, the Norman Robinson Stakes coming up. Let's look at the prices. Arena, $5.20, Special Edition, $34.80, Bet on a Road, $16.60, $27 plus for Wajib Star, Lawyer, $4.80, Randy's Rancher, $40.30, Hamlet, $15, $9.90 for Leading Light, Typhoon, $21.80, Sky Heights favourite at 6-4 on the tote, $2.50, Randwick High, $167.50, Drinking, $69.80, and the numbers 13 and 14 were not required. Right, as we look back to the parade, there is Arena. Darren Beedman, what do you think of Arena?
Well, as usual, John Hawkes always sends his horses out in fine order, and this horse looks immaculate here today. He looks really trained up for this race, and you know, it's certainly a race he can win. It's a good last start, third in the Champion Stakes, and the form out of that's pretty good.
With me also, of course, is Simon O'Donnell, and Simon just caught up a moment or two ago with Wayne Hawkes, who deputises in Melbourne for his dad, John.
Wayne, the Group 3 Norman Robinson Stakes, the top weight Arena looks to be right in the race.
Yeah, he is, Simon. He's done very, very well since coming to Melbourne, and he has done a few things wrong in Sydney, and he is getting better. So hopefully, just this way of going, if he just happens to put it all together, he's you know, he's going to be right in the finish.
When you say put it all together, it's his first start down here. The Caulfield track can be a touch tricky at times.
Yeah, it can be. I mean, he's worked home at Flemington on pretty tight tracks, and he's done everything spot on. And to be honest, Simon, the horse is 100% and couldn't be happy with him.
All the best.
Thank you.
Well, Simon, that was number 1 Arena. Let's look along the parade to number 2 Special Edition. What can you tell me about him? There he is on screen.
Been a touch disappointing Special Edition. After his 2-year-old year, everyone expected big things of him as he got further in distance. He really hasn't hit a lot of form this time in. Has been there and thereabouts. We'd need improvement from him.
Yeah, and following along behind Special Edition is Bet on a Road, Brett Preble's mount, and Darren Beedman is having a good look at him.
Yeah, I caught up with Brett after his last start run at Caulfield, and he said the horse is probably looking for a big track like Flemington, more a mile and a half horse. So it just might be a little bit out of his ground here on this type of track.
Yeah, there was a bit of a tip down Melbourne this morning too for the Leon Corstens trained Wajib Star. I notice he's at big odds on the tote. He's got a nose roll on Simon O'Donnell.
Yeah, you go back to May and he did win the Gibson Carmichael for the 2-year-olds over a mile. You would expect him to start being more competitive as he gets further up in distance, and I'm sure Leon Corstens will be happy the way he's turned this horse out. He looks well.
Yeah, and Chris Muntz has just mounted. Number 5, trailing behind him is a Sydney sider, the Clary Connors trained Lawyer. Shane Dye rides Lawyer, and Darren Beedman knows a bit about him.
He's a striking looking horse. It's my first day that I've really sort of laid eyes on him and taken a bit of notice of him, and I do like him. He's a nice type, got a nice head about him, and it was a very good gutsy run the other day when he ran second in the Champion Stakes. He really slogged it well to the line.
Yeah, he's also a colt by Wajib, the Irish stallion who stands at the Macquarie Stud at Wellington for studmaster David Baxter. Number 6 along is Randy's Rancher, Jimmy Cassidy's mount.
Yes, I think Randy's Rancher will really have to find another gear if he's going to be somewhere near these. He's been beaten quite convincingly during this preparation, and I think he might be a touch out of his league.
Yeah, Hamlet, TAB number 7, is trained by Rick Hall Lacey, responsible for a very game win recently at Moonee Valley, but he's been beaten since at Flemington.
Yeah, that was only a restricted grade race. It was a 1 Metropolitan win race, whereas this is a Group 3, stepping up in grade a little bit. But he is by that great sire, Danehill, so that he might be able to overcome that with the sire.
And behind him is the Bart Cummings trained Leading Light. Bart just trained a winner at Randwick, and I saw him with a big smile on his face. He's down here at Caulfield today, of course, having trained 6 Caulfield Cup winners. And Simon, this horse looks the part.
Yeah, he certainly does look the part. Bart's turned him out particularly well. Greg Childs on board. Ran second to Hamlet in that race Darren Beedman mentioned at Moonee Valley. We need Hamlet to improve a little. I think we need Leading Light to improve a little in this company as well. Could show up, run a place.
There's Typhoon, trained by Bart's son Anthony Cummings, and Danny Nikolic as the rider.
Yeah, he's a nice looking horse, but he's just sort of a little bit below top grade, I think. He looks well in the enclosure today. He's nice and relaxed, and as Anthony does, always turns his horses out in fine order.
And the favourite is next along. Simon O'Donnell knows a lot about Sky Heights. Damien Oliver is riding him for Colin Alderson. Just a little on the toe, Simon.
Yes, a little on the toe. And look, Sabile's can be a touch like that. We've heard all about Sabile today. He's taken all before him. Damien Oliver's in the pigskin. Colin Alderson would really love to win this race and take some satisfaction out of Caulfield Cup Day. This is a horse on the up.
I'm sure he's a short price favourite in the betting ring. Andrew Voss, is he?
Well, Ken, as a matter of fact, it's boiling down to a bit of a Sydney-Melbourne battle, this one, and the Victorians are staying solid with their own. Sky Heights is the favourite. It's been backed into 6-4. The best you can do on the other two from Sydney. Lawyer, number 5, is now at 7-2, and Arena, you can get as much as 9-2 about that. But Sky Heights is the one, trained by Colin Alderson, that the Victorians want. Right now, we'll take a break on the wide world of sports. Coming up, the Norman Robinson Stakes as we count down to the Caulfield Cup.
Okay, back again at Caulfield. The horses are behind the barriers for the Norman Robinson Stakes. So this is going to be an exciting race. A good lead up to the Derby next month at Flemington. Shane Dye, of course, is riding the Sydney side, a Lawyer who is second favourite. I'm interested to hear what Shane's tactics are to try and knock over the favourite, Sky Heights.
Now, from the 2,000 metres at Caulfield, it helps to draw an inside barrier. You normally get caught 3 and 4 deep around the first turn if you draw out, and that's what's going to happen to Sky Heights. There's not a lot of pace in this race. I'm imagining Special Edition to go forward and lead, and so too a horse called Hamlet. Lawyer, who I'm on, will probably be riding 4th or 5th. Now, there's a lot of turns around Caulfield, especially at the 1400, you go uphill, so you don't want to be off the track. You want to be close to the fence, saving your horse. The one thing you've got to do in this race over 2,000 metres, out about the half mile, get out into the clear, go forward. It's not a strong race. You don't want to be caught in behind bad horses. Watch for Sky Heights get home with Arena.
Okay, so speaks Shane Dye. And how does Lawyer look, Simon Marshall?
He looks extremely well, Kenny, but not only is this race a good pointer to the Derby, it's also a very good pointer to the Caulfield Cup later on today, because this race is being run over 2,000. Whoever wins this race will be probably taking a good guide into the Caulfield Cup, so keep your eye on that. Arena also looked extremely well, fit and forward, bet on a road. He did look fit. He's been running around for a while now. Gate 9, you'd expect him to come back a little bit. Wajib Star from the Leon Corson stable will probably settle back midfield. He looked fine, Kenny. Lawyer, as I said, yep, he's 100% fit, and Shane's very confident. I also thought that Hamlet, I think he'll nearly lead today from that inside position. He doesn't like settling. He's extremely fit. You're not going to get him to improve in look. Sky Heights, yep, did look very well. Nice and forward. And also Randwick High, coming down from Sydney, looked very well, Kenny, as we got one to walk in.
Yeah, it will be interesting to see how the track plays, being the first middle distance race of the day, and well, it'll give you a very good guide as to how the Caulfield track is playing here, just 2 races prior to the Cup. Here's Greg Miles.
Off now. Sky Heights near the outside began well. Special Edition away fast, and so was Lawyer. Randy's Rancher into stride very quickly down on the inside. Hamlet ridden to be up at the pace early, and so is Arena. Arena's pushing on the outside. Special Edition led, with Arena going up 2 length and a half away at the 1600. Hamlet settling down a half a length away in 3rd placing, again inclined to over race. Sky Heights moving up 4th the outside, and then 1 to Lawyer. About a length and a half, Typhoon getting his head up a little, and Leading Light going forward as the pace slackened off. Over on the inside then is Wajib Star, and then Randy's Rancher. Typhoon easing back behind these. They're followed by Randwick High, ridden well away from the pace. Bet on a Road is second last, and about 3 lengths to Drinking. Special Edition took the field up on top of the hill, leading by about a length to Arena. They've not gone hard. A length and a half to Hamlet. Sky Heights is right there 4th on the outside, and Lawyer is handy. A length further back, Wajib Star, and then a neck to Leading Light. 1 to Randy's Rancher. Typhoon is next on the outside of Randwick High, second last. Bet on a Road and Drinking. About 900 to go to the railway side, and Arena's gone up level now and joined on the fence in 2nd placing. Special Edition ahead away now. Sky Heights only a length away in 3rd, followed by Lawyer. Over on the inside then is Hamlet, followed by Leading Light. 1 Wajib Star. Typhoon next with with Bet on a Road starting a run, and then Randy's Rancher, Randwick High second last, and Drinking. Coming down the side, Special Edition at the 600, and Arena on the outside, leading from Sky Heights only a length away. Lawyers had a beautiful run fourth, a length and a half leading Light, and then came Typhoon, Hamlet and Bet on a Road. Arena with a neck advantage, Sky Heights right there to challenge. Over on the fence then Special Edition, followed by Lawyer and Leading Light. It's Arena turning in front, Sky Heights coming after it from Leading Light, and Lawyer back on the inside. Arena, oh, he's running badly at the 200 metres. Lawyer got hampered but comes through. Sky Heights on the outside. It's Lawyer dashing to the front. Sky Heights trying to reach him, but Lawyer's giving plenty from Sky Heights. Lawyer's a length in front, and Lawyer and Shane Dye beat Sky Heights. Third is Arena, most erratic. Then Leading Light, Typhoon. Back behind those to finish was Hamlet, Bet on a Road, Randy's Rancher, Wajib Star, Drinking, Randwick High, and Special Edition after leading dropped out to finish last.
Well, there were only 3 horses in the race all the way down the straight, and it was Lawyer, a maiden before today. He had run 4 seconds, and he took out his initial victory in the Norman Robinson Stakes. 5, 10 and 1. $4.50 and $1.60 for Lawyer. Sky Heights $1.40, and Arena was third, returned $1.50. 5, 10 and 1. And as we pick them up here, you can see Lawyer on the inside, Sky Heights on the outside, Lawyer in the predominantly yellow colours there, and home he goes, and what a performance and what a boost for his stallion Wajib. Right, as we see them from the outside here, we might just pinpoint a few of them for you. There is Arena. Oops, we can't get it there. It's Lawyer on the inside, and as we roll again, Lawyer on the inside, Arena in the cerise, and Sky Heights in the blue cap out 3 deep. Here I thought Sky Heights was going to outgun Lawyer, but when Shane Dye showed him the whip, he had a beautiful run in the race, whereas Sky Heights had been 3 deep and Lawyer went home the better. From a Derby point of view, I don't think the second horse would lose any cast. The winner is trained brilliantly, of course, by Clary Connors, who is now with Darren Beedman.
Well, congratulations, Carrie. He looks like a promising horse, this, doesn't he?
Yeah, Darren, he's been like it all the time. He's a real honest horse, and you know, everyone he's put in, he's put his hold in. You know, he's not a big horse. He's his first campaign. He's come a long way, the horse, and you know, said the connections. Look, I think he's a Derby. Let's go and give it. You know, don't get many cracks at it, and I think he is. You know.
Yeah. You going to run him in the Derby?
Oh, I think so.
And also you got Vitronite in the Cup. What do you expect of his chances?
Well, while we're firing, we might keep going. So yeah, he'll run well down there.
Yeah. Well, it looks like you got a good future with this horse.
Yeah, he does, mate. He's a nice horse.
Good. Thanks very much, Clary.
Thank you.
Yeah, Clary Connors, he always does a marvellous job, and I should point out he's very, very ably assisted by his sons, Mark in Sydney and Heath down here in Melbourne. They're 2 splendid boys, and like their father, they're great horsemen, and they all pitch in. They mightn't get the kudos that their father gets, but they help him a lot. Simon Marshall, I'm sure Shane's very happy with the performance.
Yes, definitely, he's very happy, and Shane, there was a little bit of controversy there at the top of the straight.
Yeah, Darren's horse just shifted in, so I had to go to the inside, and it's just too strong.
Yeah, gave him a beautiful ride, Shane.
He had a nice run in the race, and he was just too strong.
Does that help you with conditions going into the Cup after the slight downpour we've had?
I think you're better off the fence. You don't want to be on the fence, so it's going to suit my horse. I'm not particularly worried.
Tell me something, Shane. You haven't won a Caulfield Cup. You're a little nervous today?
You've got to be kidding.
No? Well, there you go, Leslie. You've got to be kidding. And Kenny, I suppose he's a very confident young man. He's in form. Let's hope today's the day for Shane.
That's what makes him the great jockey he is, Simon. He's got ice in his veins. He doesn't let things get to him. Not even all that controversy over Viander Cross 6 years ago. Mate, he's an ice-cool customer, Shane Dye, a great big race performer. He lives for these big days, and I'm sure he enjoyed getting one under his belt on Lawyer in the Norman Robinson Stakes. Simon O'Donnell, the second horse certainly wasn't disgraced.
Yeah, certainly wasn't disgraced. I thought the run of Sky Heights was a pretty good one. You've got to take into account it was only his 4th start, so it's the first time he's really been extended, and it'll be good to see if he comes on from that.
A smiling Shane Dye unsaddles Lawyer as we go for another break on Caulfield Cup Day on the Wide World of Sports.
As fun.
Okay, now watch the horse in the Cerise, because that's Arena, and see him come across and just hamper Lawyer there in the blue and yellow. Immediately Darren Gauci pulled him back off Lawyer, and Lawyer then had an uninterrupted run to the post, which he accepted gratefully and dashed away to beat the favourite Sky Heights in the Norman Robinson Stakes. And you watch this Shane Dye's whip action. He's clear of the field now. The horse comes out a little. I think that was on purpose, because you heard Shane when he spoke to Simon Marshall. He said, you're a bit just off the fence. And I think that's right, certainly in the home straight. That's Sky Heights in the other blue and yellow colours, just in the second spot there. 5, 10 and 1. Lawyer, Sky Heights Arena. $4.50, $1.60 the winner, $1.40 for second, $1.50 for third. The Quinella 6.10, the trifecta, wasn't all that hard to get, but it still paid $34.90. Well, for several years now, the international horses have been coming here for the Melbourne Cup. Today, they've come for the Caulfield Cup. But first of all, let's have a look at the Caulfield Cup tote prices. Faithful Son, 10.10. Count Chivas, $52.10. Tie the Knot, $4.70. $5.80 for Yippee-I-O. Markham, $59.40. $16.30 for Darazari. Fairform, $35.30. $4.40 for Aerosmith. Torfin's Melody is a roughie. The Hind is at $18 plus. It's All in Fun, 33 plus, $16.20 for Champagne, $30 for Jezebel. On Air, $53.60, $20 plus for Pursuits, $26 Vitronite. Von Ian, $82.10, and Lisa's Game at $38.30. As I told you, the Melbourne Cup has for several years now been an international race, with horses like Vintage Crop coming out here, Double Trigger. But now the Caulfield Cup has become an international event, with the addition this year of Torfin's Melody and Faithful Son in the field. The Caulfield Cup is an international event. Cos Cardone has the story.
It seems all of Melbourne has been straining for a view of what many say is the best credentialed overseas raider since Vintage Crop. Faithful Son from the powerful worldwide stable of Sheikh Mohammed Godolphin represents the guile and the guesswork of today's Caulfield Cup. We do know that in Europe, where he races in the Sheikh's trademark royal blue colours, he's considered outstanding.
And it's Faithful Son who's throwing down the main challenge. Towards the stand side, Faithful Son. Daylami switched out for a final thrust. Faithful Son and Chesterhouse, and it's Faithful Son who's just wearing down as they hit the line. Faithful Son.
But despite a gallant second in the Group 1 Judd Monty Stakes, we don't know how he'll fare beyond 2,000 metres.
Well inside the final 150 yards, Faithful Son and One So Wonderful fighting back with Chesterhouse. There's three in a line as they enter the closing stages. Oh, it's going to be tight. May well have been Faithful Son.
I've viewed his tape, so I know how he comes out of the barriers and how he likes to race. I think the most important factor is that he's only been running in 7 or 8 horse fields over there in Europe, and now he's coming over here and running in an 18 horse field in the Caulfield Cup, so that's probably the only difference.
Jockey Damien Oliver has been a regular visitor. He would have been impressed by an operation that, at an extra cost of $60,000, also imported Anus Mirabilis to Australia to give Faithful Son track work company. And when a foot went amiss, Godolphin flew out his own farrier from England to reshoe the horse. Yet compared to Oliver's 3 Caulfield Cup triumphs on Mannerism, Paris Lane and Doremus, Faithful Son is almost a stranger to him.
I'd like to be able to tell the public my degree of confidence, but I really don't know myself. So, you know, you're going into the race with an open mind, but I think with all that, there's probably less pressure on you, you know.
You can't be too bullish and say he's going to come down here and win. You know, we're up against good trainers and they're astute judges. They wouldn't have their horses in the race if they weren't good enough. But I think our horse will do himself justice. He'll run well.
Over at Sandown, the second of today's internationals has been going about it without much fuss. Torfin's Melody, trained by Anne Herres, the lady in boots who ventured here last year with Harbour Jews. This horse has won from 2,200 to 3,200 metres over 5 seasons. He's a tough type, perhaps better suited to the Melbourne Cup. But it's all part of a story that says lightning raids on the Melbourne Cup alone may be a thing of the past. Caulfield very much an international transit point.
I mean, everything was the Melbourne Cup, let's go for the Melbourne Cup, and nobody said, well, what about the other cup? So it was only when we got out here, so this year I said, well, let's go for both.
Why not? Exciting times, and it's an exciting day. It's just over an hour. You'll see the Caulfield Cup on the wide world of sports.
Coming up, your guaranteed best guide to the Melbourne Cup. One of the great races of the Australian turf, the $1.5 million Caulfield Cup, on the one and only wide world of sports.
Yep, the crowd's getting excited. They're getting ready. They're getting ready for the big one. At 4 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, the Caulfield Cup. And have a look at those fillies. Simon O'Donnell always tells me that there's quality fillies in Melbourne, and I think he's on the right track. Coming up, of course, before the Caulfield Cup, we've got the Darley Double races from Sydney, and we've got race 4, the City Tats Lightning, in just a few minutes. So Identikit is at $3.90, Monopolise $11.80, $3.40 for Dance Beat, $5.30 for Dual Photon. I think he'll run very well. I think he's the horse to beat. Princely $11.30, $9.70 for Mutombo, Splendid Horse $8.30, $82 for El Soler, $34.90 Yellow Breeze, and $150 plus for Arabian Storm. Right. We picked them up. We switched down to Randwick to the 1,000-metre start, and there is Princely. Princely's got an excellent winning record. Might lack perhaps this class, but when you see a horse that's had 23 starts and he's won 11 times with only 1 second, it shows you that he's got a great will to win. 11 times first past the post and only once relegated into second placing. There's Dance Beat there in the black with the white armband and the red cap. I spoke to Neville Begg down here at Caulfield earlier in the day. His son trains Dance Beat, Graham Begg, and Neville said Neville's a part owner of the horse, and he said they were quite confident and quite hopeful of the horse winning this race, so that could be worth keeping in mind. There he is there, and he's a very good trainer, Graham Begg, as was his dad Neville, who trained many Group 1 winners, including Del Messia, Emancipation, and of course prior to that he was foreman in the 1950s and 60s for the great Maurice McCartan, who trained horses like Todman and Winona Girl. Right, they're going into line. We're waiting. That's the Max Lees trained Mutombo in centre screen now. He's about to take his place for Grant Cooksley, the Iceman, just back from suspension. And you saw Dance Beat, who's drawn the outside of the 10 runners. He'll be forward in a moment, just waiting to take his line, his place in line. Once he does, they'll be ready for this 1,000-metre scamper. So not much room for mistake here. Off they go, and they're nearly home. They're home in less than a minute. Righto, Dance Beat takes his place, waiting for the starter to climb, hit the stairs of his rostrum. Up he goes. Let's switch to our caller, Terry Bailey.
Lane cleared. Gates are back. Dance Beat fired out of the gate from out wide on the track, and so too very quickly into stride is El Soler, the grey, showing plenty of early speed as they settle down and going fast. Yellow Breeze on the fence. They were followed a length away by Identikit. Mutombo beaten for speed, but he's starting to go around the outside from Princely. Getting back in the field then would have been Dual Photon from Monopolise, and back at the tail of the field Arabian Storm. Yellow Breeze and Dance Beat on the bend, the joint front runners. 2 lengths away Mutombo, El Soler, 2 lengths Identikit, Princely the inside. They were followed further back in the field as they come around the bend, then coming wide by Dual Photon. Well into the straight, and Dance Beat had moved up on the outside of Splendid Horse. Splendid Horse still in front of Dance Beat and Mutombo 3 out. 2 lengths away Identikit running on. Mutombo at the 150s moved up on the outside of Splendid Horse from Dance Beat. Identikit, Monopolise starting to scream home, but Mutombo broke clear. Monopolise flying when it's all over. Too late, Mutombo wins. Monopolise second, Photo third, Identikit or Splendid Horse. They were followed then by Princely making ground from Dance Beat. Well back Dual Photon, Yellow Breeze, El Soler, and last of all was Arabian Storm.
What a thriller, and what a run by Monopolise, who'll be Hong Kong bound now for his 3rd international. That's Mutombo in the orange colours, going to Splendid Horse in the blue. Down the outside comes Monopolise, outside of Identikit, another old warrior running a great race. But the bird had flown for Monopolise. Mutombo got to the lead for Grant Cooksley and held off Monopolise, very close for 3rd between